video, I want to talk about the question, what is my purpose and what am I here to do with my life? What is the meaning of life? And even though this sounds like almost, an unanswerable question or a very difficult question to unpack, it's actually extremely simple. Your purpose is to utilize the gifts that are uniquely specialized to your essence to be in service and make the world a better place. And that might, again, seem a little bit cliche, but I want to unpack it for you and let's talk a little bit and have a dialogue about how this is really going to move into alignment in terms of you really feeling and grounding yourself into your individual purpose. So one of the most important things to remember is that purpose is always going to be intimately connected with what you can personally do to make the world a better place. And it can come in so many different forms. It will always be connected to things that flow effortlessly from your core soul frequency, from that being that is you, that is just easy. Nothing that you are meant to do from a divine perspective is ever going to be really, really difficult or to feel out of alignment. So when we understand this idea of what is in alignment for us and what is out of alignment for us, we have to remember that it's always going to be linked to those higher vibrational feelings, thought forms, okay? So when something is in alignment, it's going to feel really good and it's going to be effortless. And it will also come with an energy of momentum and passion. Okay, so these are really, really important markers for you to pay attention to. So anytime that I'm teaching, that I'm doing videos, that I'm talking about these things, I become really energized and really excited to do it. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like something I'm forcing myself to do. And therefore, I know it is in the flow, in the alignment of what my soul came here to do. So in contrast, when you look at the contrast, how something will feel if it is a little bit out of alignment or something that you kind of almost have to do to go through the motions of this, sort of matrix world that we're living in, it's going to be difficult for you to self-motivate. So, things like doing your taxes or cleaning your bedroom or, something like that, they are things that are necessary in terms of going through the motions, getting through our daily life, but you're not going to find that you have a lot of passion from them. We can also look at this in terms of our job description, our career, what we're doing. When we're in a job that is somewhat out of alignment or quite out of alignment with our core purpose of why we're here, we're going to feel a lack of motivation. We're not going to feel a lot of joy from doing those tasks. And it's because it's kind of out of alignment. We're off our soul's blueprint in essence. So it's not that we shouldn't do those jobs, because I've done a lot of those type of tasks, type of work that are, more of those ditch digging or, moving through the lessons. We're taking on the job because, again, it's building character. Building that character is an important part of our path. So it's not that you don't go and, work at the McDonald's drive-through. I've done all of those types of jobs. They had purpose. They had meaning. They were building me towards what I actually wanted to do, which was my core purpose. So they yielded a lot of learning. They yielded a lot of understanding because when you're going through the motions of these things, you understand how to navigate the three-dimensional world. You understand, the value of things. It's building that value system for yourself to really, once you hit your stride, once you start to figure out your purpose, you have built all of this amazing work ethic and character and skill sets behind you so that you can now do the thing that you came here to do. So a lot of these things are in preparation of that ultimate path that you are reaching towards. So, in terms of planet Earth, all of the purpose, or our collective purpose right now, is really about ascension, healing, and putting things back in place in a more divine alignment for all of the life forms here on planet Earth. From the planetary perspective of the ecosystem, the biological systems, they have been out of balance due to human overconsumption for many years. We're hitting a point where we actually are at this zone of, I don't want to call it no return, but we must start to put things in balance if life is to remain sustainable in terms of our home here on planet Earth. Being in service of other life forms, so the plant world, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, all of these biological systems, part of your purpose, depending on, again, what it is that is part of your soul's blueprint, is intimately going to be linked to healing the planet. All of us have this element within the understanding of the deeper regions of the self that we are here to protect and to heal the planet. Part of that comes from the responsibility that a lot of the damage that has been done through the human collective. So part of our karma, our historical karma, is that it is now our purpose collectively as a human family to undo the damage that has been done and to set things right, to set the balance point back to our coexistence here on Earth. So that's something that's always going to be linked to purpose. You're also going to notice when you are living purposely, through this divine blueprint, that you will feel really peaceful about what you're doing. When you're acting righteously, when you're acting on this right path, you're going to have a lot of self-gratitude, self-love, peaceful energy, an internal knowing about the fact that you're on the right path. That's something that is very closely linked to purposeful energy, especially when it comes to your own purpose, is a feeling that you are on the right path, not the wrong path. So there's no air conditioning in the unit that I'm in right now, so it is very hot in here, and sometimes a little bit difficult when I'm filming under this extreme heat. So back to what I said, in terms of knowing that you're on the right path, you will have an internal intuition. You will just have a feeling of a rightness emanating from your consciousness, emanating from your spirit, that will be guiding you down the road you're going. It will feel really, really good in terms of what you're doing each and every day. Now, the other thing that is always intimately linked to one's true purpose here on planet Earth is helping others. So helping the human collective, helping from an individual level. So part of your purpose will be to guide certain individuals. Part of other individuals will be for them to guide you. So there are also individuals that you will come across that are part of your path, that they are here to be a guide to you, and that is part of your purpose in learning. So those are really the three pillars of what we will understand in terms of purposeful living. So that is first of all, what we're here to do in service of the planet, in service of the biological systems and creating balance. What we are here to do in terms of service to others, service to humanity, and service to those individuals. We have those close individual bonds in terms of our own guidance and unconditional loving energy flowing forth. And then that third pillar, which is our own soul's development, how we are intimately helping to, go through the ascension process of our own soul's journey, and how that is, part of our goals here on planet Earth. And it's a beautiful trinity in terms of that balance. And once we start to move into that true authentic path where we are truly living as closely as we can to that blueprint of what we're meant here to, or what we're meant to do here, we really will. So when we move into this state of having a really clear picture of what it is we are meant to do here, again, we have this sort of momentum that will start to build. And that's really your indicator that you've figured it out, that you have unlocked that doorway to your own gifts, your own service to this lifetime, to this path. And it will be a very joyful experience when you finally figure out what that is. And then really you get to work. Once you've drilled down to what your purpose is, it is that opening or that gateway to virtually unlimited energy, because it is aligned with your divine purpose. You will feel just this outpouring of energetic resonance coming into your being. Really, really remembering that with this journey, you are going to have a lot of preparation before that door opens, before that remembering sort of floods back into your consciousness of what you're here to do. That preparation stage can feel a bit difficult. It can feel a bit heavy, because again, this is the stage where you have that veil that has been placed, in front of your consciousness, that you cannot remember clearly what it is, at this point that you're here to do. You will have an innate feeling that you are here for a reason, but often that is clouded. And it is so important to remember that you need to adhere to divine timing. The energies, the universal energies which support you, absolutely know when to trigger this opening of your consciousness to the remembrance of what you're here to do. And that unlocking mechanism will not happen within your own consciousness. You won't have this awakening until you are ready, until you are prepared. And the preparation is slow and steady, it's heavy, it's layered with lessons. And so if you're at a stage where you're really not sure what your purpose is yet, don't worry, don't think, maybe I'm not here for a purpose, or there's nothing for me to contribute to planet Earth, or, whatever it is. Sometimes there's a lot of darkness. Sometimes there's a lot of discovery before your ultimate purpose is unlocked. And what do I mean by heaviness? Well, anytime we are learning in this third dimensional space, anytime we're learning about chaos, the darkness, the distortions and imbalances in reality, we actually have to go into those environments, experience them. A lot of this experience is quite painful. It feels like suffering. It's that pressure that those lessons provide, so that we can really truly understand what our internal light needs to be used for. So if you're in that stage where you're in that density and you're in that learning and unlocking and uncovering, don't feel discouraged. This will subside. The lessons will make sense. It's always that 20/20 hindsight vision where you go, okay, now I finally understand why I had to go through all these really difficult things. These difficult things were preparing my consciousness, were providing the character, were providing the infrastructure for what I was meant to do or what I am meant to do. So there's a lot of peace in just having that faith, holding that faith, understanding that this too in time will pass, and this too has purpose. Everything in creation has purpose. Even the strangest, most chaotic, most painful elements of life garner learning. And that's so important for us to understand. So the last thing in terms of your purpose that is really helpful in terms of understanding where you're headed and why you're headed there is visualization and manifestation techniques. So utilizing your imagination to create a scenario where whatever it is that emanates from within you, imagine sort of this expanded version of yourself, almost yourself as this superhuman or this superhero. What would you do if you could change the world? What would you do in this role to essentially help in whatever ways you can? And that imagery that will come forth will always be very unique to the self, that individual self that you are. And utilizing the momentum of the imagination to draw forth the universal powers, to draw forth that divine essence, to help to orchestrate, your existence so that you can begin to bring some of these incredible dreams into reality. Now, it's not always going to unfold exactly the way that you imagine it, which is, the even more beautiful and exciting element, to living in a third dimensional body. But you will notice that what you are visualizing down the road will start to come to pass in magical ways. So utilizing your imagination, utilizing your skills of out picturing a beautiful future is one of the most powerful things that you can do to really drill down to your own purpose. It is through imagination that creation comes into manifestation. I'm going to say that again. It is through imagination that creation comes into manifestation. So the most balance that you can make yourself and the most blissful experience that you can experience here is through the highest calibrations of joyful imagination. So when we use our imagination in a very purposeful way and stream high vibrational divine thought forms into our being through our consciousness, this is where we start to transform, where we start to up-level our existence. And this becomes a mental muscle that we can practice with. Visualization is such a powerful tool. And the more we use it, the more we visualize, the more we train our mind to go into these states of, super high level imagination, is when we start to utilize our faith, utilize our connection with the divine, because that imagined state is really where we tap into divine mind and where the two become one. And you start to see variations in the external world. And I've noticed this my entire life. If I am in a state of fearfulness, if I am in a state of, lower vibrational thinking, judgment, anger, jealousy, wrathfulness, despair, not knowing, so being disconnected from source, I am not going to be able to produce very much in terms of my own manifestation abilities. It's when I transcend this, it's when I resurrect my own beautiful divine mind and move into these higher elevations of thinking that transformation actually starts to speed up. So it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you are seeing in your third dimensional reality. What matters is how we use the tool of the mind. So start to exercise this mental muscle, and it will open up all of these caverns, all of these, previously unremembered aspects of the self that, again, are really, really aligned with these very high elements of one's own service, one's own gifts, and one's own purpose. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Hopefully this inspired you towards a greater output, of your own innate gifts and your own divine blueprint. I will undoubtedly see you in the next video, and have a beautiful start to your week.